What happens when a celebrity hospital visit reveals something darker than anyone expected? When you're known for playing a hero on TV, what do you do when real people need saving? And when a high-tech car becomes the only thing standing between criminals and their victims, how far would you go? This is the story of how David Hasselhoff discovered a deadly pharmaceutical fraud, and why thousands of cancer patients owe their lives to a man and his talking car. It was September 1985, Los Angeles. David Hasselhoff, 33 years old, walked through St. Catherine's Medical Center in his black leather Knight Rider jacket. He wasn't there for publicity. His stunt coordinator, Tommy Chen, had collapsed on set 3 days earlier, stage 4 lymphoma. David carried books and magazines, hoping they'd help Tommy pass time during chemotherapy. He'd driven here in Kit, the actual 1982 Pontiac Trans Am from the show, license plate Knight, waiting in the visitor lot. People thought Kit was just a prop. David knew the Knight Industries techs had built something special. Room 847. Tommy Chen lay in the hospital bed, looking smaller than David had ever seen him. At 52, Tommy had been doing stunts since the 1960s. Now he was connected to IV lines, skin pale against white sheets, dark circles under his eyes. But when he saw David, his face lit up. "Hey, superstar," Tommy said weakly. "You didn't have to come." "Are you kidding? You've saved my life in stunts about 50 times. They talked about the show, about Tommy's daughter starting college. Then Tommy's wife Linda arrived with his daily medication, small orange pills in a white paper cup. David noticed Tommy's hand shaking as he reached for them. "You okay, buddy? These are supposed to help with chemo nausea, but I swear they make it worse. Been taking them 2 weeks. Feel weaker every day." Linda looked worried. "The doctor said they're the best available. $300 a bottle, even with insurance." David frowned. Something in Tommy's voice triggered an instinct he'd learned playing a hero. When something feels wrong, it usually is. After an hour, David left Tommy's room, but that feeling wouldn't go away. Walking down the corridor, he passed room 851, door slightly ajar. Inside, a woman in her 60s sobbed while a younger man held her hand. On the bedside table, the same orange pills. "Mom, please," the man said. "You have to take them. They're not working, James. 3 weeks and I feel worse. Your father spent our savings on these pills, and I feel like I'm dying faster." 2 patients, same medication, same complaint, same expensive price tag, same getting worse instead of better. David went straight to the parking lot, to where Kit sat gleaming in the afternoon sun. He slid into the driver's seat and pressed ignition. The red scanner light pulsed to life with that distinctive whoosh. "Hello, Michael," came Kit's calm voice, still using his character name. "It's David, Kit. I need your help with something important." He explained everything. Tommy's symptoms, the expensive medication, the other patient with identical complaints. "Kit, can you access St. Catherine's pharmacy database?" Brief pause as Kit's systems worked through hospital security. "Database accessed. The medication is on Colex, manufactured by Hexagon Pharmaceuticals. Nausea suppressant for chemotherapy patients. The hospital's been using this supplier for 6 months. And before that, different supplier. Patient complaint reports about nausea medication increased 340% since switching to Hexagon Pharmaceuticals." David's jaw tightened. "That's not coincidence, Kit." "Agreed. The chemical composition in Hexagon's documentation doesn't match standard pharmaceutical profiles. I'd need an actual sample to confirm, but there are discrepancies." David stared at the hospital building. At all those windows hiding suffering patients paying hundreds for medication that might be making them worse. Kit. Access Hexagon Pharmaceutical's corporate records. Location, ownership, distribution, everything. The scanner pulsed faster. Hexagon Pharmaceuticals registered in LA, but manufacturing facility is in the industrial district near Port of LA. Something unusual, they only supply 3 hospitals in Los Angeles, yet reported revenue suggests much larger operation. Also, they're a subsidiary of a parent company registered in the Cayman Islands. Offshore registration, limited distribution, suspicious composition. Kit. I think we're looking at counterfeit drugs. That would be my assessment. If Hexagon produces fake medication and sells to hospitals at premium prices, they're endangering the most vulnerable patients in healthcare. Cancer patients, people like Tommy already fighting for their lives. He took a breath. Kit, map me a route to that facility. David, if your suspicions are correct, this is extremely dangerous. We should contact authorities. And tell them what? That a TV actor has a hunch. We need proof. Real proof. Then we go to authorities. The scanner dimmed, almost expressing concern. Very well, but cautiously. The facility is 40 minutes away. David put Kit in drive. As they pulled out, he glanced back at St. Catherine's Medical Center, at all those people trusting a system that might be betraying them. The drive took them through progressively rougher neighborhoods, from palm-lined boulevards to chain-link fences and warehouses. Sunset painted the sky orange and purple, casting shadows across abandoned lots and shipping containers. The Hexagon facility is 3 blocks ahead, Kit reported. Converted warehouse. Public records show only 15 employees, unusually small for a pharmaceutical manufacturer claiming their production level. David slowed. The building was squat, windowless concrete with rusting metal roof, and small parking lots surrounded by chain-link fence. Faded sign. Hexagon Pharmaceuticals authorized personnel only. 3 cars. Security cameras at each corner. It looked more like a chop shop than legitimate pharmaceutical facility. Kit, detect any chemical signatures inside. Kit's systems hummed, reading several compounds, some consistent with pharmaceutical manufacturing, but others concerning cutting agents commonly used in diluting medications for profit, also industrial-grade fillers, substances that should never be in medication for human consumption. David felt his blood run cold. This wasn't just fraud. This was poisoning. People paying hundreds for pills that were ineffective or toxic. We need inside. David's sophisticated security for such small operation. Multiple cameras, motion sensors, armed security inside. They're protecting something valuable and illegal. Can you disable their security? I can create temporary electrical disruption, approximately 4 minutes before backup generator activates. But my sensors detect weapons inside, at least 4 armed individuals. David had never faced real armed criminals. This was different from stunt coordinators and special effects. He thought about Tommy, about that woman in room 851, about all the cancer patients being exploited by people seeing suffering as profit. Do it, Kit. Kill their power. Understood. Initiating electromagnetic pulse in 3, 2, 1. The building lights flickered and died. Security cameras went dark, shouting inside. Go now, David. 4 minutes. David ran toward the building. The loading dock side door's electronic lock was dead from Kit's EMP. He forced it open, slipping inside. Emergency lighting flickered on. The interior was exactly what he feared. Not sterile pharmaceutical facility with safety protocols. Instead, folding tables covered with pills, cutting agents in plastic containers, industrial mixers and bottles labeled Oncolex being filled with pills clearly not from legitimate sources. 4 confused men in the production area, one on a radio. David ducked behind shipping pallets, heart pounding. He pulled out a small camera from kit and started shooting pictures. Pills, cutting agents, labels, industrial equipment, everything. David 90 seconds before generator. Kit said through his earpiece. Vehicle approaching from north. Black SUV moving fast. Leadership arriving to investigate power outage. David kept photographing, moving between pallets. Then he saw it. Small office with glass window. Through it a man in expensive suit at desk talking on cell phone by flashlight. Even in dim light, David recognized him. Dr. Marcus Kellerman, Director of Pharmaceutical Services at St. Catherine's Hospital, the man who approved medications, who'd switched them to Hexagon 6 months ago, who should protect patients, not profit from suffering. David photographed Kellerman surrounded by fraud evidence. This went beyond counterfeit drugs, hospital-level corruption. 60 seconds David, SUV in parking lot, 3 armed men, leave now. David backed toward his entry door. A worker turned, saw movement, shouted, "Hey, someone's in here." The loading area flooded with light as backup generator roared. David ran, footsteps behind, shouts, gun drawn. He burst through the door as shots rang out, bullets sparking off metal door frame. He sprinted to Kit, diving into the driver's seat as more shots hit. Kit's reinforced panels, bullets that would shred normal cars but barely scratched. Knight Industries materials. Go Kit, go. The Trans Am's tires screamed, powerful engine launching forward. The SUV tried following, but Kit was faster, smarter. They were on the highway within minutes. Kit, did you get everything? Pictures, evidence. Every image uploaded to secure storage. Plus I recorded audio of Dr. Kellerman's phone conversation. He was arranging counterfeit shipment to 2 additional hospitals, St. Mary's and Cedars Medical. This operation is much larger than suspected. They're supplying fake cancer medication to multiple facilities across Los Angeles. How many patients, Kit? Based on hospital records and Hexagon's timeline, approximately 1,847 cancer patients currently taking counterfeit medication, could exceed 3,000 within 6 months. 3,000 people fighting cancer, already facing life's hardest battle, being exploited and poisoned by criminals disguised as healthcare providers. Kit, we need authorities, not local police, FDA, FBI, someone who can shut this down completely. Agreed. Given Dr. Kellerman's involvement, assume other corrupted officials. I recommend FBI Los Angeles Field Office Pharmaceutical Fraud Division. Can you set up secure meeting? Already composing secure message with evidence attachments. Should respond within the hour. Next morning, David and Kit met FBI Special Agent Jennifer Torres and her team. David walked them through everything. Tommy's symptoms, hospital visits, warehouse photographs, Kit's recordings. Agent Torres, sharp-eyed woman in her 40s with 20 years pharmaceutical fraud experience, studied the evidence. Mr. Hasselhoff, do you understand what you've given us? A fraud case, the biggest pharmaceutical fraud case in California history. We've investigated Hexagon 3 months but couldn't get probable cause for warrant. You handed us everything we need: photographs inside facility, audio of hospital director coordinating distribution, chemical analysis showing exact counterfeit composition. This is airtight. She made a phone call. Within an hour, FBI teams mobilized. By sunset they'd raided Hexagon, arrested 17 people including Dr. Kellerman, seized over 50,000 counterfeit pills scheduled for distribution to 5 hospitals. News helicopters circled as agents carried out evidence boxes. Every news channel covered it, but they kept David's name out. At his request, he didn't want publicity. He wanted justice. 2 weeks later, David returned to room 847. Tommy Chen looked different, better. The hospital had recalled all hexagon medication, replaced it with legitimate drugs from verified suppliers. Tommy's color was returning, strength coming back. "You did this," Tommy said, gripping David's hand. "You saved my life. You saved all of us." David shook his head. "I just asked questions. Kit did the heavy lifting. Kit's a car. Kit's a friend." Tommy laughed, first real laugh in weeks. 3 months later, federal court revealed Hexagon's full scope. They'd produced counterfeit medication 2 years targeting cancer patients because medications were expensive and insurance paid quickly without verification. They'd made $17 million. Dr. Kellerman received $2 million in kickbacks. FDA traced counterfeit medication to 2,347 patients across California. Because of David's intervention, all identified, all received proper treatment. Federal prosecutor estimated 600 to 800 lives saved that would have been lost to ineffective treatment or toxic reactions. David never sought recognition. He returned to filming Knight Rider, back to scripted adventures. But now when he sat in Kit's driver's seat, when that red scanner pulsed to life, he understood something new. The line between fiction and reality wasn't as clear as he thought. Sometimes the hero you play becomes the hero you are. Sometimes the most important action scenes never make it to television. Tommy made full recovery, returned to stunt work 6 months later. First job he took was coordinating a car chase for Knight Rider Season 5. He insisted on one detail in the final shot. Kit's license plate had to be clearly visible. Knight. Because some heroes wear capes, some drive Transams, and some just refuse to look away when something feels wrong. That's what saves lives.